Should I let everybody in, yeah?
Yes, please.
Oh, sorry about that.
Is the webcast started?
Becky, are you there?
I'll Teams her.
Please.
Oh, there's a fire alarm. You got to go, Adrian.
No, it's a...
Bit of a technical hitch before we start. Never mind.
Oh dear.
It's a Tuesday morning test. Yeah. Right.
She started, sorry. Yes, she has started the webcast.
Okay, brilliant.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this licensing subcommittee. I just give a webcast an introduction. I'd like to remind everyone present that the meeting will be broadcast live to the internet or filmed and will be capable of repeated viewing or another use by third parties. Please could also be members of the public who have registered to speak that they will be admitted to the meeting at the appropriate time. Please also be aware that if technical difficulties interrupt the meeting that cannot be overcome, I may need to adjourn the meeting. The virtual meeting will be webcast, as I said, but members are reminded to need to unmute before speaking. Right. First of all, as I say, welcome everybody. Just a few introductions. I'm Councillor Richard Morgan, who will be chairing the meeting. We also have Councillor Alan Lyon and Councillor Ian Hadley, who will be the other members of the panel, and Councillor Judy Jennings will be the fourth member. She will be just observing. She won't take part in the meeting unless one of us has technical difficulties. We also have Lee Cole from the legal department, Adrian Henry and Laura Kerman from the Democratic Services, and then we have Handam Amram from the licensing department, and then if you get other people to just introduce themselves, we have Karen Hetherington is the... Can you just introduce yourself, Karen?
Yeah, sorry, my name's Karen Hetherington. I work for MSOJ Pizza, who practice Pizza Hut. I was the lady that's put in for the premises license to take the business.
Okay, and also have Judith Walker.
Hello, I'm Judith Walker. I'm from the Loughton Residents Association Plans Group.
Right. Okay, thank you. And also Hannah Gould.
I'm licensing officer for the second premises application.
Okay, thank you. I think that's all the introductions. Obviously, when it's time for members of the public to come into the meeting, Laura Kieran will allow you into the meeting at the appropriate time.
There's a gentleman named Naveed Saeed. He's the area manager for the Debden store, and he's also present at the meeting.
Is she actually registered on there? Or?
Yes, he is.
He is, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it didn't come up on my screen. Okay, we'll move on to item 2. Apologies for absence, which we have none.
No apologies.
Are there any declarations of interest by anybody?
No.
Right. Item 4 is the procedure for the conduct of the virtual meeting. If those who have got the agenda, it's page 5 and to 7. Then we move on to how we're going to actually conduct the meeting. This will be done by, first of all, our officer, the licensing officer, will introduce the item, go through what is applied for. I will then ask the applicant to put their application. We will ask you questions on the application. It will be also the objectors can just ask questions at this point. It will then ask the objectors who are present to put their case why they're objecting to the application. We will ask them questions, and also the applicant will be asking questions. And finally, it will be the objectors to but introduce any extra item that they haven't thought of, and also for the applicant. We will then go into private session and discuss the application, after which we will come back and give our decision. So I think that's covered everything at the moment. So the first application is for a new premises license in respect of Pizza Hut delivery, 21 the Broadway, Loughton. And this is on those who've got the agenda, page 13 to 54. And I'll ask Handam to...
Chairman, before we go any further, Ronan has got his hand up.
good morning, Ronan.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. I haven't objected, so therefore I won't be putting anything, but I'm here in case any of the panel have any questions. I have been in negotiations with the applicant and any questions that the local authority may have of Essex Place. So unless you need me, I will stay silent.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming. And as you say, if we need you, we'll come back to you. Thank you very much. It was, and then were you doing the first application?
Yes, Chair, yes. Hello, morning. Thank you very much, Chair. We're here today to determine the application for new premises licence under the Licensing Act 2003. The application has been made by MSAJ Pizza Limited for a new premises licence at 21 the Broadway, Loughton, IG10 3SP. The application is for a pizza delivery and takeaway restaurant, which was received on the 16th of April 2021. The application is for the following licensable activities: provision of late night refreshment, 2300 hours to 0100 hours, and the hours of premises will be open to the public will be Monday to Sunday, 1100 hours to 0100 hours. Sorry, I forgot to mention the provision of late night refreshment is Monday to Sunday, 2300 hours to 0100 hours. With regard to the consultation, the responsible authorities have received a copy of the application. It was also advertised at the premises and in a local newspaper. Sorry, can you still hear me?
Yes, fine.
Yes.
All residents and businesses within a 150-metre radius of the premises were individually consulted. The authority has received representations from the following: Loughton Town Council, Loughton Residents Association Plans Group, and 3 representations from local residents, which have all been attached. Mr. Ronan McManus of Essex Police Licensing has agreed conditions with the applicant, and these are also attached. The agreed conditions are for midnight closure, Sunday to Thursday, both for in-store and deliveries, and the shop doors closing at midnight, with home deliveries only until 0100 hours. No customers in store from midnight to 0100 hours, telephone and online orders only, Friday to Saturday. All objections that have been received relate to crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. So if we could have the applicant, Karen, to put the application to us, please.
Good morning. We currently trade in the Debden area. I've only been with the company 3 months, so Naveed would probably be best to tell you when we started trading there. What we would look to be doing is to just open in an hour earlier, Sunday to Thursday, and the 2 hours on the Friday and Saturday, to allow us to trade delivery only in the local area. Yeah, sorry. We would only deliver to a bona fide address. We don't expect to have an awful lot of deliveries. It would just allow us to trade the extra time and to compete with to fall in line with our competitors.
Is there anything else you wish to add?
I don't think so. I'm not sure if Naveed would like to add anything.
Yes, it is just, we've got the other stores as well. We've got 14 stores in total. Some of these stores are open till 3 o'clock in the morning. So we understand, and we have managed to obtain license from the councils as well. So this particular one, as we said, that we are definitely keeping everything in mind, our neighborhood, the issues in the area, and we've got everything in place in terms of risk assessments, especially on crime risk assessment as well. So I think we have a process in place from Yum, which operates like 400 stores of Pizza Hut across all the country, and we are very mindful, in terms of how we look after the people around us.
Okay, thank you very much. So that is the application. First of all, Councillor Lyon, have you any questions for the applicant, please?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I do have a few questions. Now, there was a comment made that it's only delivered, service only delivered to bona fide addresses. How is that defined, and how will that be undertaken?
We have a system in the restaurants that will only allow us, if we input a postcode, it registers to deliver to. If there isn't a registered address, it will not allow us to take a delivery there. Any first-time orders that we have, we make a point of ringing the customer to verify the authenticity of the order. So we would only deliver to an actual address. If the address wasn't registered anywhere, then it's not somewhere that we would go to.
Okay, can I just add to that? And the alcohol checks to make sure, is it challenge 25 or?
We don't serve alcohol.
You don't serve alcohol?
No, it's just served soft drinks, pizzas and sides.
Oh, okay. Excellent. I think that's all for the time. Oh, yeah, there was another point. You said there's not going to be a lot of deliveries. So
we're not expecting an awful lot of deliveries initially. It's just allow us to have the option to trade later to come in line with our competitors.
I thought this was, I say it says pizza delivery and takeaway restaurant. So
we are a delivery and takeaway restaurant. We currently trade to 11 a.m. We're looking to trade slightly later, but after midnight to just do solely deliveries and to shut the doors to the customers.
Okay. I mean, one of the comments I would make is that there's a college just across the road. And I know they're not going to be there at that time of the evening, but be mindful of that fact, or I was considering that fact. So we need, obviously, to make sure that things are not delivered to young people in the street or sitting on it.
No, it would literally only be to a certified postcode or address.
Yeah, so we will simply refuse the delivery even somebody asks. And that's how our manager's been trained, all the staff's been trained, and they understand this.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anything else, Councillor Lyon?
Not at the moment, thank you.
All right, thank you. Councillor Hadley, your question for
Yes,
the
yeah, I've got a question regarding the competitors. You mentioned about competing against your competitors. Now, as far as I can see, on Debden Broadway, there are no competitors. Is that right?
So the competitors are not directly on there. Obviously, we've got Domino's and Papa John's, which are similar sort of vicinity, and they cover the same trade zone.
Yeah, they're actually in Loughton, aren't they? I think.
They are, yes.
Yeah, okay. I know it makes no difference because they're still competitors.
So they're literally within a mile radius. So that's how the mechanics work, like Papa John's, Pizza Hut, and Domino's. They will be next to each other. Doesn't have to be on the same trade, as long as they're covering the same trade zone to take their market share.
And I have another question there. I think it's gone. Yeah, you mentioned the competing with these two. What hours? What are their finishing hours? Are you bringing yours in line with them, or are you increasing your hours over what they provide?
Karen?
When we've done the competitor survey, Papa John's and Domino's were trading till midnight. What we were doing is bring ourselves into line with them, and on a Friday and Saturday go to 1 hour beyond.
Okay. 1 hour extra at the weekends.
On the Friday and Saturday, yes.
The other two places. And that is presumably just to increase your trade?
It is, yeah.
You've already said you didn't expect you to have many.
Because it's not central London, we're not expecting to be extremely busy. It's just to bring us in line, and as Naveed said, to help us with our market share and to bring us in line with our competitors.
Except for the extra hour at the weekend where you're...
Except for the extra hour at the weekend, yeah.
Okay. And you think it's worth it keeping open that extra hour? For not many, possibly. But I'm sure you've done that some.
Yeah, potentially. We'd like the opportunity to try.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Lyon.
Oh, yes, thank you, Chairman. Just looking at the note that has come from Mr. McManus regarding renegotiation of hours. I just wanted to understand, have they been accepted? So it was saying midnight closure on Sunday to Thursday, and only up to 1 o'clock at Friday and Saturday.
Yes, they have been. Sorry, licensing officer, just to confirm, these conditions have been agreed with both the applicant and the police. Karen, if you'd like to carry on.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I was going to say the same. I had a discussion with Mr. McManus at the start of the process, and we spoke about it and discussed it, and we decided that would possibly be the best for all parties with the trade times.
Okay, so there is a change to what has been applied for. Is that okay?
Yes, there is, yeah.
That's fine. I think that clarifies the situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the panel? You're on that. So now we have the objectors present. Have you just asked questions at the moment from the objectors of the, I think it's the town council or the whoever's here present for as an objector? Could you ask your questions to the applicant, please?
First question. Yeah,
if you ask just questions at the moment.
Just question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Judith. Yeah, you'll come up on screen now.
Thank you. From the LRA Plans Group. You mentioned that you've got so many stores. I thought you said 14 stores. How many of those stores have got residents above, like in the Broadway?
So I'll give you an example. We have Wilston Green, where we have flats upstairs. We have Edmonton, we have flat upstairs. Kentish Town, flat upstairs. So a lot of them, they are on high street positions, and most of them, they've got residents upstairs. And some of those stores are open till late. For instance, that we've just been granted license for 3 o'clock in the morning on Edgware Road. And then we got, 4 flats. Right. Yeah.
That's not one that you mentioned with flats above.
Edgware Road, Westbourne Park, Willesden,
Edmonton,
Kentish Town. More than that than I would, but the ones that we've been granted extra trading hours have got premises situated above them at the moment.
Thank you.
You have no other questions, Mrs. Walker?
No, thank you.
Okay. So we now move on to, I think that's all the questions at the moment to the applicant. We now move on to Judith Walker from the Loughton Residents Association to put your case why you're objecting to this application, please.
Chair, sorry to interrupt. I do believe there is Victoria who's representing the residents as an objector. Is Victoria?
Yes, that's correct.
Sorry, Victoria, I missed you. So, have you any questions at the moment to the applicant, please?
I don't have
Just
any
questions.
as per se. As I said, the only question will be like, have you thought that with that extra hour that you add into your trade versus the competitors, that when Karen says that they're not expecting much trade, the view is if the competitors are closed, all of the orders that would have been placed on the high street, which is less residential, will move then now to the Debden Parade. Karen, has that been taken into consideration when you said there will be much orders after midnight? I think the argument per se suggests otherwise, because you're going to go an hour beyond your competitors after midnight on the.
We are on a Friday and Saturday, which would be traditionally the busiest nights of the week. We wouldn't. Debden is sort of quite Essex, not actually too busy a high street and too busy an area. It was just we're not expecting hundreds of deliveries. We're expecting possibly 1 or 2, 3 at the most at the moment, until obviously the sales build. So we're not expecting it at the moment to be especially busy. It's just to allow us to trade.
Okay, I'm just going to add to these, because obviously I'm a resident and I have been out on socials nights, and some of the premises on Loughton, like the Standard, has extended their opening hours and licensed it to 1 in the morning, which indicates to me that if someone is leaving late that place, they could just go home. And as I said, what my concern is the increase on you having an hour over your competitors in a highly residential area. I see it as a potential risk that, a lot of people are going to start ordering and there will be a lot of traffic or whatnot. And for you to actually be monitoring every order to make sure that it goes to a domicile or, a registered address, I found it quite hard to control, especially if you are going to be very busy. But that's all I have to add. Thank you.
The system that we have is quite a specialised system, whereas if you type in the postcode, it will tell you whether the postcode does actually exist. If it doesn't exist, then we wouldn't deliver there. And as I said at the start, we would call the customer and make checks. It would not be in our benefit as a company to put our riders at risk and potential people at risk to deliver, for example, to, as was suggested earlier, like a park bench or a park. It would only be to a bona fide address. It wouldn't be to anything else.
Can I add something to this as well? So given the situation of COVID, the businesses are struggling. So obviously our expectations are that we need a little bit extra help to boost our business, because Debden's been one of the stores, which hasn't really been making money. And then, we've been struggling as a business owner. So that's another thing that we want to try and see where the opportunities are. And those, for instance, we just got to see if it works for us or not. And if we realize at some stage that we are not anticipating the sales that we require to keep us going, then we can always revert back to the normal trading hours.
Okay, thank you. I think we now can go on to the why the objectors, and if we start off with Judith Walker, please, why you objected to the application?
Yes. I've got a follow-up question to what the gentleman has just said. Could I ask that, or shall I give my statement and then incorporate that question?
If you ask the question first, then.
Yeah. Okay. Because my understanding, and forgive me if I'm wrong on this, I accept the COVID situation, and yes, I know that all businesses are struggling, and we are supporting our high street. But once the license has been granted, then that's it. We're not sort of saying like the street pavement, you know, it's for a set time. Once you've got your license, that's it. So, you know, this is here to stay, regardless of how long COVID is going on for. And I don't want to sound unsympathetic over that, but that is something to be considered. I feel that, you know, once you've got your license till 1 o'clock in the morning, then that stays. But so our Loughton Residents Association Plans Group, our objection is on the grounds of public nuisance. 1 p.m. in the morning, where you've got residential above, you've got young families above there. I've been into that area. I know that there are young families there. Until 1 o'clock in the morning, I think is too late. I know you're saying you're going to be shutting the doors. People aren't going to be coming in at after midnight, but if somebody walks in through the door at midnight, they're still going to be going out 15:15, 20:00, however long it takes for their pizza to be done. But the 1 o'clock issue of closing your door, and you've still got the motorcycles going off, doing their deliveries, coming back, opening, shutting doors. And I just think in an area that is highly residential, with young families around by the very nature of the properties there, that it's too late, even for the couple of nights. Particularly in the summer months, you can have your windows open, as most people will do in the evenings, and that is going to impact on the children and the adults trying to have their normal hours of sleep.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll ask Victoria Martinez why you are objecting to the application, please.
I am representing the Landmark House residents, and we strongly object to the license applications based on, as Juliet mentioned, noise, pollution, and disturbance for the proposed development that will disturb me and the residents during the night and unsociable hours. The risk as well of creating a precedent with other establishments opening or already in the area. Our main concerns for antisocial behavior and increased crime due to the late hours opening. We are basing these on personal circumstances that people, if they have had a drink, they will still try to come into the premises. They will not be allowed, but then that could create some disturbances between the staff and the people trying to enter the premises after midnight. It's not in line with other commercial hours that are near residential areas. Increase in litters, cigarettes, etc. And I'm saying it as the same case, even if the people are not permitted to enter the premises, they can linger around, or at the same time, you will have people delivering and whatnot, and that could increase litter and stuff like that. The safety of the residents and passers-by due to late opening hours, increased potential of drug activity beyond the already present one at the back of our property that we have to deal with on a daily basis, smell pollution, smoking, food, extra people, etc. To confirm, I'm rejecting on base of the licensing objections listed above, and the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm.
Thank you very much. Members of the panel, Councillor Hadley, have you any questions to the objectors? Either one of them on the application, please.
No, I have no questions.
Councillor Allen?
No questions. I have further questions for the applicant, but not for the objectors.
Right. So we're only actually extending it by 1 hour, aren't we? Not as originally applied for 2 hours. That's right, Handam, isn't it?
Hello, Chair. Yes, after Essex Police conditions which have been agreed. The conditions are that there's midnight closure Sunday to Thursday, both in store and for deliveries, and that the shop doors close at midnight. So the conditions have been agreed that home deliveries only for Friday and Saturday until 0100 hours. So no customers in store between midnight and 0100 hours. Telephone and online orders only for Friday and Saturday. So deliveries only between 12 midnight and 0100 hours for Friday and Saturday.
Okay, thank you very much to clarify that. I don't think we have any other questions. If Judith, you wanted to ask the
Yes,
question.
please. Sorry. So what time then, if there's nobody going to be in the shop after midnight, what time are you going to be allowing the last customer in to be taking their order, their physical order?
If you wanted to ask that to the applicant.
Yes, I do.
Karen?
So the cutoff time is because we tell our customers if you're closing at midnight, they have to be at the premises 15 minutes before to collect the order, because we will not open the door after midnight.
Right. Okay. And in relation to the people congregating outside who perhaps don't know that your delivery only from midnight to 1 o'clock, are you just going to let them stand out there? Would you go out and tell them? Would you have signs up to say delivery only? We won't open the doors.
We will simply tell them we will not open the door at all, because we don't want to jeopardize our staff's safety, at the same time. So they will, even if somebody knocks at the door from inside, we can wave a hand and tell them that we are closed, but we will not open the door.
We would also have signage in the window.
And if the people don't go away, what do you do? Nothing or anything?
We will definitely call police, and we will let the authorities know.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Have we any questions from the applicants to the objectors, please?
I don't think so. Naveed, do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
No, I don't have any question. Thank you.
Okay. Anything from officers? Lee Cole?
No, Councillor, no.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, this is Victoria. Last word. Can I add something to what the gentleman said about the people waiting outside? He's stressing that they wouldn't want to expose the member of staff to deal with people that are queuing outside the hours of collection. But then you need to bear in mind that you're still putting the residents at risk. If I'm walking past or I'm coming back to my home from whatever circumstance, I will still have to face these people as a resident. So they're thinking they don't want to put their staff at risk, but what about the residents around? So that's just my last addition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Right. If we now will move on just to a final wind up. If the applicant wants to make any further comments without introducing anything new, have anything, Karen or either of you, anything to add?
As a business, our aim is not to alienate the local residents, because we appreciate that they live in the area in which we are trading. As a business, we're just trying to compete and to be present. But the aim of upsetting our neighbours isn't something that we would wish to do. And as the lady said, with respect to our staff, we also feel the same about the residents. It's not something we would wish to put anybody at risk for. We appreciate that it's obviously our licence that would be coming into question should we do so.
Okay, thank you. And any final statement from the objectors? Without introducing anything new? No? Okay. Victoria, you all right with that?
Yes.
Nothing new to add?
As I said, I'm okay with that. But once, as Judith said, once they have the license is there to stay. Yes, it can be challenged or whatnot, but we know how lengthy the process is, and we have had it in this resident building since the beginning, and it's been so unfair. We have families here, we have jobs to keep, we have, as everybody, we've been struggling with the pandemic. And the last thing that we need right now is an extra layer of concern. A lot of my residents, I know, because I'm the director of the association, are suffering from mental health illness based on everything that has happened. And to add this layer of concern and disruption, I think it will be seen as very bad from the residents' point of view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think unless there's anybody else wishing to speak, we'll now retire. And
Chairman, can I
Councillor Lyons, sorry, yes.
Sorry, Chairman. Just a couple of points that actually come up when the objectors were talking that I noted. One of them was about the delivery vehicles and minimising any noise that might be caused by the fact that there's delivery only. Where will the delivery vehicles be parked and how will they be managed to make sure that noise is kept to a minimum? And also delivery drivers talking amongst themselves, how will that be dealt with? The other issue that came up was about litter and managing litter around the premises. We've seen with a number of takeaways during the pandemic, considerable amounts of litter being dropped in the streets. So how is that going to be managed? So those 2 points I'd like answered, if I may.
With regards to the litter, we find that because the pizza boxes are quite large, they're not something that people can eat and stand and eat on the go. It's something that, as a rule, someone will take home and consume at home as opposed to walking along the street. With regards to the vehicles, by the 22nd, so in the next 2 weeks, we'll be having new delivery vehicles delivered into Debden, and I'm sure Naveed, because Naveed will be able to answer where they're located at the moment.
Sorry, we have a garage at the back of the back entrance of the store where we store our bikes, and there is a car park at the back entrance of the store, which we will use in terms of delivering those orders. We will not use the front doors because if the traffic is on and off and the people are coming and going in, that will sort of invite people to come to the area. So it will be the back entrance, and we have a code on the back door as well. And to another point, that we will not have too many drivers at that time. Most probably there will be just one manager and one driver, considering it would not be rush hour. So because we have passed our peak, which is after 10 o'clock, till 10 o'clock. And as I said, there will not be too many people on the premises.
Can I come back on that, Chairman?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So you haven't got any motorcycle deliveries or any agency deliveries that will pick up from the store?
We do have those. We do have bike riders, but we have more car drivers than the bike riders. And to oppose to the aggregator that you just alluded to, they have their own bikes and they will not choose the front entrance to come in.
Okay, well, this is something that I would suggest needs to be managed very carefully to minimise any disruption to residents. Certainly after 12 o'clock at night will be a big concern. And I'm not sure I agree with the litter situation. We've seen people having big deliveries of takeaways and leaving the litter. I'm not aware whether there's any benches along Loughton Broadway, but we've seen people sitting at benches and leaving their leftover wrappers on the benches, if that's the case, or low walls. So I would caution about the litter issue and how that's going to be managed, and that will certainly be monitored. But I would appreciate that there's a plan in place to actually manage that effectively.
With regards to litter, that is something that we can address, and we can ensure that the shop does a litter pick of a designated area. If that would help.
Okay, thank you. I think that concludes everything now. If we now go into Laura, if you put everybody in the waiting room, and we'll go into private session, And I think Lee Cole, our legal advisor, will stay with us.
The webcast has been restarted.
Thank you.
Well, I think we've got everybody back.
I think we're all here, yeah?
Yes, yes. Okay, well, thank you for being patient and waiting for our decision. The licensing subcommittee decision sheet for application for a premises license under the Licensing Act 2003. Premises address is the Pizza Hut, 21 the Broadway, Loughton. We consider that the application satisfies the necessary requirements in order to be considered. It is on the prescribed form. It has been advertised and relevant notifications given. We have taken into account the representation for the 4 licensing objectives and the council's licensing policy. During our deliberation in private session, our officer gave us no further advice. So I'm just going down there. Scrolling, my computer's a bit slow scrolling it down. The decision of this subcommittee is the application for a premises license in respect of Pizza Hut be granted subject to the following conditions which we consider are reasonable and proportionate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. The conditions consistent with the operating schedule as modified by the conditions which have previously been agreed between the applicant and all doors to be closed at midnight, Monday to Sunday, with delivery orders only taken over the phone or internet until 1 p.m. on Friday and Saturday only. The mandatory conditions contained in sections 19 to 21 of the Licensing Act. There are no further conditions, and it is just to mention that the application is granted, and that'll be till 12 o'clock as agreed with Essex Police and the applicant. And the applicants and the objectors are reminded of the right of appeal to the Magistrates Court within 21 days of the written notification of this decision. The decision is granted until midnight. Okay, well, thank you very much for attending, and
Very much.
declare this application closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we've got moving on to our second application. Hold on, let me paperwork right first.
Okay. Hannah, can you turn your camera back on?
Sorry.
Hannah, we have a problem.
Sorry, Adrian, can I quickly interrupt before you go on?
Sorry.
There is still somebody in from the meeting. Then
All right.
Andrea.
Okay, can you
I'll
take
just
him
put,
away?
I'll put him in the waiting room. Or I'll just put him in the waiting room to.
That's he's from the last applicant,
Yeah,
so you can
he's
actually
probably not
take him
turned
out.
back up. Yeah.
No,
Well,
you can
I will
just take him
All right.
out. Okay, sorry. We have no one here for the farmhouse. Hannah.
Yeah, Zen is the solicitor, the applicant's solicitor. Zen.
Zen. All right. Sorry, I thought he was.
I've just now closed him down.
Sorry, can I ask a quick question? Sorry, before I leave, because obviously now Hannah's going to be taking over the next application. About the decision sheet, will that be sent over via email? Do you know when?
I'll send it to you now.
Excellent.
I'm sorry, Hannah. I got misinformed and I've removed him from the meeting. I'm not sure he'll be able to join.
You should be able to rejoin us
He should be able to. I'm not
if he
reporting.
realizes he's been chucked out.
Yeah, but if he does.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to leave now.
Okay. So have you got a contact number from Hannah and I'll try and ring him?
Yeah, I'll just find his email. We've got none of the objectors though, by the looks of it.
No, I didn't even know Zen Andrea was coming in for the applicant.
Yes, he appeared yesterday out of the blue.
Oh yeah.
While we're waiting, who's going to be the fourth one to sit out this time? Either Ian or
They're on
Alan.
mute.
I'll carry on sitting out. I don't mind.
Yeah.
You don't mind sitting out again?
No.
All right.
Well, I think you're chairing the
afternoon
session.
I'm chairing this afternoon, so.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Okay.
I'm just going to try and mute. I'm just going to mute myself on Zoom to ring this gent.
Okay. It's the time to take a 5-minute break if you want to.
Well, yeah. Shall we have a 5-minute comfort break then?
Yeah.
I've got my coffee, but you others have a coffee. Introduction to start with. For those members who have just joined us, I'd like to remind everybody present that this meeting will be broadcast live to the internet or filmed, and we're capable of repeated viewing for another use by such third parties. Please, could I also remind members of the public who have registered to speak that they will be admitted to the meeting in the appropriate time. Please be aware that if technical difficulties interrupt the meeting, that cannot be overcome. I may need to adjourn the meeting. The webcast has started, I believe.
It has.
Thank you. Just a few introductions. I'm Councillor Richard Morgan, who is chairing the panel today. I also have Councillor Ian Hadley and Councillor Alan Lyon, who are the other members of the panel. We have a fourth councillor, Councillor Judith Jennings, who is just observing. She is here just in case either of us or any of us contact disappears, then she'll take over or step in. We also have Laura Kerman and Adrian Hendry from from the Democratic Services, Lee Cole from our legal department. We have Hannah Gould, who's our licensing officer, who is presenting the case, and then we have also the applicant solicitor. Is the applicant actually with you there as well? You're moot.
Yes.
So he will be making or answering questions if we need.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. The procedure is for the someone can say something. Oh, procedure of the conduct business is that I will ask our licensing officer Hannah Gould to introduce the item. It will then be to the applicant or his agent to put his case why they want this license. We will then ask you questions on the application. I don't think we have any objectors here today. Is that correct, Laura?
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah.
No objections.
So we will ask you questions on our application. The objectors are on the bundle of papers that have been sent to us all. It'll be after that. It'll be well, the objectors are not here, so they won't be saying anything. We'll just go through the application, and we will give you a chance to right at the end to wind up just anything new that you've forgotten for the application. After which we will go into private session and discuss the application, and then come back to you. So I think that covers everything. I haven't missed anything, have I? No.
Nope.
No, everything seems happy. So the application is the Farmhouse, Essex, Netherhouse Farm, Surston Road, E4, and that is on our agenda on pages 55 to 110. No, I don't want it. So if Hannah Gould, if you could put the application to us.
Yep, sure, thank you. So the application is being made by TJ Asiak of Hungry Hampers Limited for a premises licence at the Farmhouse, Essex in Waltham Abbey, E4 7RJ. The application of this premises licence seeks to carry on the following activities: on and off sales of alcohol between Sunday and Thursday 9 AM to 2300, and then Friday and Saturday night, or Saturday 9 AM till midnight. The opening hours are the same. The previous licence at the premises lapsed as the premises licence holding company known as Farm Food Events Limited entered liquidation on the 18th of February 2020, and the permitted time allowed under the Licensing Act 2003 to transfer the licence or apply for an interim authority had passed. TJ Asiak was also the director of the previous licence holder company. The application was received on the 6th of May. The responsible authorities have received a copy of the application. It was advertised at the premises and in the local newspaper. All residents and businesses within a 150-metre radius were also informed by letter. Conditions proposed by Essex Police have been agreed by the applicant. Conditions proposed by the authorities' community resilience team were not fully agreed by the applicant, and therefore their representation still stands. The authority has received 5 resident objections which relate to the following licensing objectives: public safety, public nuisance, crime and disorder. The authority has received 1 objection from a solicitor acting on behalf of the landlord of the premises, which relates to the prevention of crime and disorder objective. Responses were received from Essex Fire and Rescue, Child Protection Services, Planning and Trading Standards, who had no comment. All of those details are attached. Also, yesterday, the licensing team received an up-to-date plan of the premises from the applicant's agent, Zen Andrew, from Proctor Moore Solicitors. This was added to the agenda and is headed Late Farmhouse Premises License Layout Revised Plan. Okay, thank you.
Just a question on that. You mentioned that you had some more correspondence yesterday.
Yes.
Was that to do the papers that Adrian sent us today, this morning? Was that?
Yes, it will be the extra, the plan, the revised plan layout.
Okay. Right, thank you. Right, we now ask if the applicant will put the case to us, please, why they want this licence.
Yes, good morning, and so as has been correctly pointed out by Ms. Gold, the basis of the application and the details been provided are entirely correct. There has been a revised plan that has been submitted, so I'd like to draw the parties in attendance to that plan, because that's an updated plan, and that sets out the areas to which this premises license is to cover. I'm not sure if you've all had an opportunity to read this plan or to have a look at it, but it's the areas covered in blue which to which the my client would say applies for the premises license to cover. So I hope that's been made clear in terms of geographically what we're looking at. Now, yes, it is correct that the request is to sell alcohol at the premises between the hours of 9 AM to 11 PM from Monday to Thursday. and then Sunday 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. and only Friday and Saturday 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. Now, the main objections that have been raised, I don't want to go specifically as to what's said in relation to them, but it is in my respectful submission that a lot of the objections, the concerns that have been pointed out are correctly addressed as to the conditions that have been set by Mr. Ronan McManus, who is the county licensing officer, and some of the some of the conditions set by the senior environmental enforcement officer, Michael Richardson. Now, I just want to go through those conditions because my client has confirmed that he would agree to these conditions in order to alleviate a lot of the concerns, particularly with regard to noise nuisance and the sale of alcohol. So firstly, Ronan McManus sets a condition that takeaway orders should all be available to the police and the county officers upon request, so they will be produced. There is an exception to those orders that are coming from third-party platforms like Uber Eats and Just Eat. There may be a particular reason for that because producing those orders may not be able to be done on the spot, so to speak. But certainly, should there be a request to produce orders on actually the spot, that would not be a problem, but that will have to come direct to the business. There will be age verification in place at the point of purchase. That's going to be the case at any given time that alcohol is being served. Delivery would only be made to residential or business premises, not to parks, streets, or similar locations. Now, the obvious reason for that is to ensure that there is knowledge and understanding that the alcohol is being served, obviously, to a residential address where we know where the alcohol is being sold and the person it's being sold to. So, and also upon delivery of alcohol, there will be the Challenge 25 scheme to be operated at all times. So we're hoping that would alleviate a lot of the issues that have been raised by the objectors. Just to also make it clear that those conditions have been agreed. There's no variation or deviation of those conditions that have been met, and we have them in writing anyway. So they're in the bundle at page 18, but it's a letter from Ronan McManus dated the 10th of May 2021 for ease of reference. Now, another set of conditions was set by the Senior Environmental Officer, Mr. Michael Richardson, and that's dated the 2nd of June, and that appears at page 19 of the bundle. Now, Ms. Gould did mention that not all the conditions were agreed. I have taken up-to-date instructions from my client, who's had the privilege of obtaining some advice since responding to those, and he agrees to those conditions that are set out. So again, I'm going to go through them in some detail and tell you exactly what condition is set and what's been agreed. So with regard to the issue of nuisance, so this would be the volume of noise, the potential nuisance that could be elevated from the premises. It's a condition that all external doors and windows should be closed. That's agreed. That's going to be monitored by the management, who I am informed are trained, and there are regular meetings and reviews to ensure that takes place. Secondly, that noise not to be amplified from the boundary of the premises. So you'll see from the plan, I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity to look at this, but the plan that is that's in the bundle, there's a helpful plan from its satellite plan, and that's at page 48. And the satellite plan shows that the premises, the farmhouse, is within its own perimeter. There's no direct residents, as in as you get on a residential road or a high street, the direct residents affected would be the farm shop Essex, where there are persons that live in there, two persons I understand who raised the objection. They're David and Jane. Appears at page 21. They're located around 15 meters from the premises. So just the reason why I'm drawing your attention to that is because the condition that no noise should be amplified from the boundary is that from the immediate boundary from the premises affecting David and Jane, they're the ones that we suspect would be the direct concern. Now, my clients agree that the noise shouldn't be amplified from the be a controlled device used to avoid any sort of nuisance and to ensure that it's not amplified, because there's going to be only one way of monitoring that really, and that's through an independent electronic device. So I spoke to my client and he says that he's got access to this. It does cost something along the lines of about £400, but in the scheme of things, to keep all the residents happy, he's agreed to purchase that and to put that in place. And that is a condition that was recommended by. So no speakers outside the building. That's agreed, and there should be notices as much as possible, really, to any of the patrons that would attend, to respect all local residents. Local residents would not be immediately within the vicinity, but also beyond the site as well, because you'd have to drive in and out, and then you've got local residents across the street. They're located around no less than 120 meters, but still there should be signs just to ensure there's limited disturbance, and also clear and prominent notices, which my client is going to be erecting around the premises. He will strategically know where they should be at the entrance when you're coming in and leaving, and any entrances where patrons are going to be walking to and from the premises or driving to and from the premises, to ensure that they should be leaving the areas quietly, because the whole point really is that the applicant wants to ensure that all the neighbours and residents are not disturbed and it's kept to a minimum. So that's the conditions there, and those conditions are willing to be met by my client. Now, the relevance of the previous premises license that was provided is that it's just what's being requested today is it's going to mirror that in terms of the hours and what's required. It is unfortunate that the previous company went into liquidation, and it's in fact the liquidation process which hinged our client really with just trying to understand that, along with what happened during the unprecedented pandemic. That was a complete oversight on his part, and he wants to ensure that with this license that he's requesting for today, that it's, with all intents and purposes, going to be mirroring the previous one. However, he wants to just put his case forward that his paramount consideration is obviously to his business, but also it's leveled by the fact that the residents have to also be kept happy as well, because if there are any disturbances, then there's only going to be continuous complaints to the authorities, and he wants to avoid that with all measure. Just to want to make some specific reference to some of the objections. Now, for what it's worth, it's in a situation where a landlord has raised an objection. I find that you might find that very unusual, actually, a landlord having to do that, because the point is that the landlord was usually who granted the premises to the applicant to be a tenant, to run his business and to be as fruitful with his business as possible. And some of the objections that have been raised appear to be quite very, very negative. What I would just add to that is that just to treat that with a bit of air of caution, really, because Unfortunately, and I can't go into detail for reasons that it's not going to be relevant, but also to keep matters, within the perimeters of what we're dealing with today. But there is a dispute between the tenant and the landlord, where the landlord made it clear that he forfeited part of the premises. We have now regained re-entry into that, and there is currently a dispute between the tenant and the landlord. So I would say that just to treat the objections from the landlord with just an air of caution with regard to the history between the parties, which is very unfortunate. And one of the other objectors was Kerry Tompkins, who I'm informed is the landlord's wife. So that should be also treated with some air of caution as well, with respect. So I know that you look at everything and give everything the weight that it requires, and that it should be with every objection should be considered or on level footing, certainly with my client's circumstance. So there we are. And also I think it's just bear in mind that currently that the farmhouse CAF, it's open for food up to 4 p.m. On weekdays, and food up to 6 p.m. on weekends. So it's a very family-based, family-run business, and there will be my clients are going to be reopening a farm shop as well, where they sell local and fresh food. So the platform is really more family-based, and you know where it's situated. That it's quite a pleasant location, and the way that it's been portrayed as a business. The reason for the request for the sale of alcohol and the extended hours really is just restricted to private hire. We're not talking about extremely loud private gatherings, because that's not the intention. The intention behind it would be family-run events such as christenings, birthday parties, etc. Nothing that would generate the sort of noise level I think that the residents are concerned about. So you want to keep in line with the basis upon which it was open in the first instance, and that was for families to enjoy, families to attend, but also, as we know, with family gatherings, you've got the adults that with their families who attend. And so that's why we'd asked for the extended hours for the weekends, and that's the application. And if we can be of any further assistance, then we're here to answer any questions. And I'm grateful for you for hearing us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now move on to questioning to the applicant. Councillor Lyon, have you questions for the applicant, please?
I have indeed, Chairman. Thank you. I'm trying to understand exactly what the application is about, because particularly I can understand the alcohol requirement, but I don't quite understand what's happening with music, because the comment made by Michael Richardson talks about amplified sounds and from the licensed premises, but there's no application for music. Am I correct in that? Reading the application, it's only for alcohol that the license has been applied for. Can someone clarify that?
I think music is incidental to the alcohol sales. So for the duration that the sale of alcohol activity takes place, the music can be incidental to that.
It's certainly not on the application, though. It says no music.
No, I don't think it needs to be. I think it's by default incidental.
Yes.
Is that right, Lee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is music, incidental music, background music. Is that so? It's not concert type music. It's. I'm just concerned how that's going to be depicted and how that is managed.
May I speak?
Yep.
Yes. So absolutely, it's incidental to the alcohol, but it's complementary. Really, it's not to the extent where the music's going to overpower anything else going on at the premises. This, like I said, the applicant the whole intention behind this is to have family gatherings so you can meet and socialise. If the music is of a level which is which you can't communicate, then it's not where my client wants to be with regard to how to manage the sound. So that's why he's willing to ensure that the music isn't amplified beyond the boundary, and to ensure that the necessary devices are installed to ensure limited decibels of the noise that's going to be elevated from the building.
Okay, so, and there will be noise limiters applied.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. The second question I had, which relates to the plan, the latest plan, which is agenda item 7, and there's a unit 9 depicted, which wasn't depicted before, which looks like the outside dining area. How is that being broken up? There's going to be tables, I presume. How many tables? And how is that going to be managed? Will there be some sort of controls in place to limit the noise from that sort of area? And will there be music outside the premises for that particular area?
So Unit 9 is the retail part of the premises. So there won't be any consumption of alcohol to the front part of Unit 9. There is 50% of Unit 9 which is held as a function room, and that's self-contained. But the front part of Unit 9 is most of it is retail. In terms of the outside premises, there won't be any music playing outside there. It would obviously be inside the building. It's just the condition that's been placed by Ronan McManus was that to ensure that all external doors and windows are closed. So that's what we want to do there. So Unit 9 has got doors there, but they won't be opening on that side. They will be closed at all times when the retail unit is shut. So there won't be any concern there of any noise elevating from that side of the premises.
Right. So the outside dining area is not shown. There's no boundary shown. That's so it's not part of the serving area.
So the plan that's been provided has highlighted the whole of the outside area from the cafe to Unit 9, but from what I understand is that the outside area is only going to be outside the cafe. I am of the understanding, and my client's actually agreeing with me, that the outside area outside Unit 9 is not imperative. It's not required for the purpose of this application. The outside of Unit 9.
So I'm not clear now. So yeah. Is there any outside dining area that alcohol and music will be provided?
Yep. So you've got the outside area of the cafe where there's seating outside.
Is that outside Unit 9?
That's outside the cafe. So if you can see on the plan,
yeah, well, that
side of Unit 9, it's cafe, yes.
So what is Unit 9 then?
Unit 9 is a retail area.
No. The area, is it depicted?
The area is redundant in terms of the sale of alcohol and
but it's in the license application. So you've got Unit 9 and you've got a blue boundary all the way round from one side of Unit 1 with a disabled ramp and another door, yellow marked in yellow. So that is within the licensed premises.
It is. So if someone was to purchase alcohol from the retail area, so if someone was to purchase items from the retail area of Unit 9, you've got the double doors pointing to the front of the premises. So it's to cover that area there where they will purchase alcohol. They would have to come into the premises and come out the premises. They'll purchase alcohol, but there won't be any consumption of alcohol outside Unit 9.
So, okay, all right. So you've got Unit 9 exit. I thought that area in blue was part of Unit 9. You're saying it's not. That's it.
It is. The area, the whole entire area blue of Unit 9, that is Unit 9, but the double doors pointing when you've got the disabled ramp, which is yellow, immediately there, that's where people will be buying, coming in to purchase alcohol and leaving with alcohol, but there won't be the consumption. Yeah.
Okay, so just my own mind. So that blue area, which is outside Unit 9, that goes all the way along the cafe and Unit 9, that is a seating area?
So where it states outside dining area,
yeah,
it doesn't specifically state where the outside dining area is, but because I've been to the CAF, I've seen the CAF. The outside dining area stops where between the cafe and Unit 9.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand how the license is going to work. So, and if this is an outside seating area, I'm not clear. I'll leave it for other people to ask questions, and maybe they will come clear at the time. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Councillor Hadley, have you any questions, please?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Can you advise me how long the previous premises have been there under this sort of regime?
So it was since October 2017.
3 years, is that? When did it go into liquidation?
Yes.
Okay. And that had the same outside seating areas, did it?
Yes.
And that was, as you said, didn't include sitting outside of the Unit 9?
Yes.
Okay. I've only seen this from the plans here, so I can't really get a feel of how natural it would be to have seats outside there. But you say outside the cafe. It doesn't mark that on the plan, of course. You don't see any indication of that at all. It just says outside seating area, and that could be anywhere. It could be around the front even. So I don't think the plans are particularly good on this for such an important area as well, because that's where a lot of the noise will come from, I suspect.
Yeah, just to answer, so it may assist. My client's just pointed out that where it states cafe entrance exit with the arrows,
yeah,
the seating areas between those parameters.
Okay.
Although it should specifically state that, and you're absolutely right. The plan should be more specific as to where the seating areas are. So I do take your point on that. Yes.
And the seating areas will actually have benches or whatever they are, tables, external tables to sit in. Yeah.
Yes. But the point about sitting outside is not to hear the music. It's if they'd want to sit outside and have a drink, but because, as you know, you can't smoke inside, and it's like I said, it's to really to socialise. The music is complimentary, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a music festival, the way some of the objectors may have been concerned about.
No. Now, when I was talking about the noise, it wasn't the music; it was just the noise of people sitting outside having a good time, smoking and drinking.
Right.
Absolutely. That's that sort of noise. I mean, which is
there are only there's 6 tables outside and seating around those tables, so they look more like sort of tables that you get in like they're bench tables.
Okay, so 6 tables, 3 people each side or something like that, 30 odd
Yes.
people outside. So
At a
30 people could make a lot of noise. But, okay.
Potentially.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you for that. Okay.
Thank you.
Just one question. You mentioned in Unit 9 there was a function room.
Yes.
What is this going to be used for, this function room? And how many people?
Well, it seats maximum. I'll just take instructions just to make sure. How many people is maximum? 30. Yeah, maximum 30 people. At a buffet type level. So really, just to put your food, stand around, but it's just really nothing more than 30 persons.
Would you be having something like wedding receptions and that sort of thing there then, or?
Well, on a very small scale, yes. I mean, if that was the requirement, but it wouldn't be probably be on obviously on a very small scale, because there's a limited amount of persons that can attend.
And the license you've applied for, is that the same as it had back in 2018 or 19?
Yeah, well, my client is nodding his head, so yes, absolutely, yes.
So I really can't see why you want the hours so late on some Friday and Saturday until midnight. What's going to happen in the winter time? What's going to happen there? Are people going to go there for a drink or eating, or what's going to happen?
Well, that's not that's not my instructions. I mean, food is served up to 6 p.m. weekdays. So it's the intention behind it is not for persons to pop out for a drink at the farm cafe, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's just really going to be for private hire, more for that. It's not your local pub. That's the best way I can put that.
I don't think I have any other questions at the moment.
Chairman,
Councillor Lyon, please.
Yeah, just come back. Yeah, I mean, my concern is just looking at the aerial photographs and trying to understand how close some of the other residential properties are. And it looks as if there's sort of no natural noise barriers, no trees. So noise, and you're talking potentially 36 people on the outside area and 30 people in a function room. So you're talking about 60 people potentially around there. And I'm just very concerned that how that noise outside on that area is going to be managed, because it all seems to be, looking at the worst case. Obviously, it may not happen like that all the time, but there could be a situation. And I'm just wondering what mitigation you've got in place to actually deal with that excessive noise, or limiting that noise to reasonable proportions, and taking Councillor Hadley's point, not necessarily music, but just people, and the time as well, where this might go on to quite late.
Yeah, so looking at the plan, to the front boundary, you have this very large tree at the front boundary that you've got. That's beyond the parking area, actually, because you've got the parking area first, then you've got the large tree, and then you have the main road, which has frequent traffic. So with regard to the front of the boundary, you've got that cushion in it. It's really to the left where I mentioned about the farm shop, Essex, the left to it, and still that's I'm being told it's about 20 meters away, and the way that it would be managed would be, obviously we went through the music, so that'll be managed through a device, but my client has got very good procedures in place, management procedures, to ensure that the noise will be kept low. So he'll have door management, where if there is going to be any noise elevated from talk or if it just from any persons, that they will be informed to be kept to a reasonable level. Obviously, there will be signs in place as well. So it's going to be layered really with regard to the signs and appropriate management. That's the best that my client can do with regard to ensure that noise level is kept to obviously a very reasonable standard to ensure that as less disturbance as possible.
Okay, any other questions? Just a comment. If the landlord is strongly objecting to this, surely he wouldn't get the lease of the property if the landlord objects. I mean, what is the position there?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question, sir.
That the landlord, they've objected to this application.
Yes.
Right. Surely, if they objected to it and they are the landlord, they would not let him have the lease to rent the place.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're going into uncharted waters there. We shouldn't be going into, but my client already has a lease for the premises for 7 years, so he's got a legal right to be there and occupy those premises.
That's what I wanted to know, really. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Are there any other questions from members of the panel or officers? Anything, Lee, Cole, you want to ask? No. Anything you want to sum up with the applicant? Just anything extra you've forgotten to add to your comments?
Yes, I mean, I would say that you mentioned the landlord. I mean, a landlord obviously can raise an objection like any other third party. It's just that the lease is very specific. We need to apply for planning, and that's what we're doing today to ensure that we're complying with the terms of the lease. And once that's done, the landlord, will have to agree if that's going to be a decision of the committee today. There's nothing really further on. I would like to add on my side. I've just asked my client. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. We have got nothing further to add.
Okay.
So
Lee Cole, our legal advisor.
Sorry. Yes, there's just one thing. If you could clarify, please, Ms. Andrea, where you said conditions, takeaway orders need to produce order on spot. I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, so that was a condition that was specifically requested from Mr. McManus on the 10th of May.
Yeah.
That's at page 18. So, yes. So, yeah, Mr. McManus.
Our page is a bit different to yours.
It's page 76, Chairman.
Right, thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you. All takeaway orders to be made to the business online or in person, records of orders to be produced to police or council officers if required.
Okay, I get it. Thank you. That's fine. That's fine. Thanks very much.
Okay. If that's, I think that covers everything. If we would like to stop the webcast, and then we'll go into private session to discover the. We're really waiting for Judy Jennings, I think.
Well, yeah. We can go on without her. She's not really part of the...
No, not that. Yeah. She won't be needed on this part anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody. The license subcommittee decision sheet for an application for a premises license under the Licensing Act 2003. Premises address Hungry Hampers Limited, Farmhouse, Netherhouse Farm, Thurston Road, Waltham Abbey. We should consider that the application satisfies the necessary requirements in order to be considered. It is on the prescribed form. It has been advertised and relevant notification given. We've taken into account the representations for licensing objectives and the council's licensing policy. During our deliberation, in private session, advisory office go no further advice. The decision of the subcommittee the application for premises license in respect of Hungry Hampers Limited be granted subject to the following conditions, we consider are reasonable and proportionate for the promotion of the licence objectives. The conditions are consistent with the operating schedule as modified by conditions which have been previously agreed between the applicant and Essex Police and Michael Richardson of EFDC, referenced on page 76 and 77 of our licensing agenda. Number 2, the managing conditions contained in section 21 of the licensing 1921 Licensing Act 2003. In addition, the following condition: for the prevention of crime and disorder, sale of alcohol on and off the premises, Monday to Saturday, 9 till 11, 9 till 2300 hours, Sunday, 9 to 22:30 hours. The application is granted subject to those conditions. The applicants and the objectors are reminded of the right of appeal to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days of the date of written notification of the decision. Signed by me, Councillor Richard Morgan. Okay, everybody clear on that?
Sorry, I wasn't clear on the second part about the hours. Sorry, because it cut out.
Oh, right. The second part of the hours, sale of alcohol on and off the premises, Monday to Saturday, 0900 hours to 2300 hours, and Sunday, 0900 hours to 22:30.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think that concludes this meeting, everybody. Thank you all for your attendance, and we'll see most of you this afternoon at 2:30. Oh, just made it back, Judy. Just to say, you weren't here for the. We have granted it.
Yes, I was here.